Okay, so let's talk about the regions. First of all, let's talk about the South. And I know y'all are saying, okay, we're already in the South. But that's South Texas. And if you look at the map in your textbook, it shows exactly the areas we're talking about. And that's where you have more of the ranchero culture. And you have the Creoles and people of very rich ethnic, mixed ethnic cultures of Spanish and French. And it's really lively, and it gives us a flavor of how different we can be in our big state of Texas. And then of course you have the Valley, which is the Rio Grande area. And a lot of people are saying, well, where is that? Again, you can look at your textbook where it illustrates the specific areas when we talk about the South and Rio Valley. Far West Texas, that is dominated mostly with bicultural. We have the trade agreement, which is NAFTA. That means we do a lot of trade with Mexico. That helps us with our economic boom and our economy, sorry. And then of course you have the Texas border, which has been highly looked at because of the border wall that the current administration wants to continue, the border wall, and I do want to discuss that. That is not a new concept. That is a concept that we really saw come into fruition during the Clinton administration. But the discussion now with the border wall is to have more enhancements. And of course, with the very contentious relationship you have with our current president and the media, you will often hear that this is a new concept, or they call it the Trump wall. But policy and legislation for the border wall really started back many other administrations. It started with President Clinton, continued with President Bush, continued with President Obama. In fact, that was the time when President Obama had the nickname of Deporter-in-Chief, because at the time, and I think he still does, he held the record for deporting more illegals from our country than others. But anyway, that is the discussion of the border wall, and it's always around the Texas border. So that's another area of discussion. And then you have the German Hill Country. That's more like in Fredericksburg. That has a lot of, the reason why they call it German Hill Country, it has a lot of Germans. It's rich with that culture. Czechoslovakia, a lot of European culture that, who knew, very conservative in their voting patterns and in their lifestyle. And then you also have West Texas and the Panhandle. North Texas, when we talk about North Texas, it's really Dallas and the Metroplex, the Dallas Metroplex. Characteristics that you see affiliated with North Texas is a strong banking industry. And then you have Central Texas. Now, those are the different regions in our state. And it's important, again, for you to go in your textbook, look at those regions, be familiar where I'm talking about or where the textbook is referring to those regions and the characteristics. For instance, in German Hill Country, they're conservative. They vote mostly Republican. In West Texas, it's more rural. They vote Republican versus our large cities. Our large cities, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, now Sugar Land, vote Democrat. And I know some people don't feel that Sugar Land is a large city, but Sugar Land just turned blue in 2018. So they are now affiliated with the trend we're seeing in the state of Texas, where a lot of our cities, our population, where our population are, a lot of growth is. our cities are voting for the time being, and it could be for the time being for decades, based on the trend we saw in the Republican stronghold, Democrat. So it's important for us to know the regions, their voting pattern, and their characteristics, because you will see those questions come up either in a quiz, exam, or final. For now, we're going to stop here. We're going to continue chapter 1 in the other YouTube videos that you will have posted throughout the week. But this is just to give you a little bit of a flavor of how we're going to proceed throughout the semester. I will, again, as you're doing your reading, provide study guides for you like I did. I will also provide these YouTube links of key terms for you to focus. And also we will communicate quite frequently via Blackboard. And then the Zoom communication will actually start probably the ending of ending of September, beginning of October. As always, feel free to email me at jackie@valleyprojects.com. It is my pleasure. I'm looking forward to moving forward with you this semester as we're doing it a little different because of the pandemic. As I mentioned, I'm used to being an in-person professor, so online is new for me as well, but we're going to make it as fun and interesting as we can. Thank you for your patience.